Okay, so here's after a day. My original sculpture, I have that wire inside of it, has stiffened up and dried a little bit. So here on the second day, I'm going to attempt to build this form out a little bit more. I've had a little bit of practice, but I'm still learning. What I found out is that when I came in the next day, this is stiffened up and it's starting to get some rigidity to it. However, it's a little bit harder to kind of dig away at it than I thought it was going to be. So instead of making a sleek cat, this is one I'm going to have to build up a little bit more. And if I make another one, I would probably instead start a little bit thinner. Um, I also realized that the air is really what's going to dry this thing out. So the bottom of it was sort of stuck to the table, and what I've done now is I've put it onto a drying rack, like a cookie sheet rack or cooling tray. And so the air can get underneath there. So I'm hoping that that'll help it dry on both sides. So here's the test now. What I'm doing is I'm just going to build up some new stuff. So I made a little ball and then I kind of attached a ball to the front of that so that I get a little bit more of a cat's mouth. And then I'm just kind of pressing in and smoothing in this clay on the sides to start to get it to feel a little bit more cat-like to me. And here I'm just working with my hands, but you could definitely like use tools to like press in and smooth out some areas on there. I've also got a little crack developing on the arm there, so I wanted to take a little bit more of my paper clay and kind of heal that crack with some of that clay itself. And I'm going to leave that because I know that the wire ends a little bit short on that side. But I wanted to give this leg in back here a little bit more meat, like a cat's thigh, or I'm sorry, hip, so that he starts to have some muscle tone going on in there. I moved this leg this morning and started to add something that looked like a little foot, and eventually I'm going to add a little foot over there as well. But he feels a little bit flat here, so I want to build up some chest muscles. And when I build up those chest muscles, he feels a little skinny. So to give him a little bit more personality and not to look so much like just a hot dog shape, I'm just laying in some more of this clay so he's got a bit of a belly. He's kind of looking down at his belly and I'm just smooshing it in on all sides so that it'll connect. Starting to kind of like squeeze that tail a little bit more too. Gonna have to come back with a little bit more clay there and kind of fill in that gap. And I think I'll try to make that tail kind of curve up so his whole body's got like a little bit of a curve to it. So he isn't the most elegant looking thing right now. And when I color him, I think I'm going to emphasize that. But he's got a little bit of playfulness to him or her. And again, I could come in with some tools and kind of smooth some of these areas out. And I think the last thing that I'm going to do before I'm all done is make his ears, because those are the kinds of things that I think if I put on the ear right now, I think that's the kind of thing that'll break later. So day 2 on this paper clay experiment. The drying rack seems to be a good idea. I'm getting a little bit more form built in there, so I'm starting to be a little bit happier with this goofy cat. And I will come back again tomorrow and see if it is stiffening up enough that I can kind of start maybe finalizing some details on here. All right, I'm going to stop on this one. Bye.